you told us before you've made about 11 grand from kind of your match betting over the last 11 or 12 months doing it.
Yeah.
What were you doing before that?
So I took about a year, I'd say about a year or so off, maybe a year and a half off betting.
Yep.
Just being an absolute degenerate.
Okay. So the year and a half before you joined System Hustler,
yeah,
you didn't do any betting.
No, I just stopped.
Yeah, okay.
It was getting too out of hand.
Yep.
And then so before that though, I was massive into sport.
Yeah.
And then horse racing is what made me undone essentially.
As in terms of punting?
Punting wise, yeah.
Okay.
So sports punting, I would do a lot of that on the weekends, obviously AFL, NRL. And then the horses would come around in Spring Carnival. And
what would a standard Saturday look like for you, like at the pub with the lads, or what is it like? What does it look like?
My mates here don't punt, and obviously it was COVID and stuff like that, so like I'd be sitting at home, would have Super Saturday on.
Yep.
I'd put my bets on as the games are coming out essentially, or like if I saw some value in a sport, like a line or something like that.
Yep.
But at the peak it was getting to about no less than $1,000 for.
You'd bet 1,000 a day?
No, like $1,000 a bet.
A bet?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd pick like Rooster's line at $1,000
okay.
at $1.90, or I'd pick like Rabbitohs, or I'd put multis on. For instance, like an easy one I remember is Manly Sea Eagles line at like -18, another 1,000 at -20, and another 1,000 at -22 with 2 try scorers.
Okay.
That was peak.
You're like a different man since then. Like that's 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
But like what has changed in your life? Nothing to do with profit, but what's changed in your life since doing that compared to like now?
Like so much more time. I was constantly on Sportsbet, just like looking for odds. If I had a bad day, I'm back in the 1 and 8 at the next dog race.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of thing, trying to get some money back. Changing that whole mindset.
In terms of your punting?
Changing that whole mindset, like, freed up so much time and just made me so, like, less stressed, essentially, just because it was bad when you get a big
100%.
loss. Like, it was just so tough sometimes. The first couple of months that I picked it up again, I profited, like, a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And then essentially lost the profit that I'd earned.
Okay.
That.
What do you reckon your lifetime before joining System, Hustler, whatever, before your break, what do you reckon lifetime profit and loss would have been punting? Ballpark.
Like tens of thousands lost.
Yeah, okay.
For sure.
So when you reflect back on that, compared to like what you're doing now, do you like just look back at that and think, fuck? Like, do you look at punters like in the pub and shit and go, I fully get that, I want to do that again? Or do you look at it and go, I can't believe that I used to do that?
I'm a bit like 50-50. Like, I honestly, it was some of the best thrills ever. But then again, you just like, it's just such an easy way to just ruin lives. And I just can't, I look at it now and I'm like, it's just, there's no point.
Yeah,
like, we're going to lose in the long run. Unless you've got some kind of structure and like, you don't obviously let your emotion take over, which like, man, there was times where I would be punting and it'd be like 2 hours where I'd like obviously be on the beers all day, all night, and then I'd zone back in. I think I'd zone back in and I'd actually flushed around. It was like I'd put $12,000 from my bank into the punting, and then I actually had $19,000 of sports bet coming out.
Yeah.
But I had to ring him and be like, fuck, I didn't even realise I did that.
Yeah, okay.
Like that's...
Just on tilt.
Just on tilt. It was just like, fuck, like that just happened.
Appreciate you sharing that because I think that's massively powerful for a lot of people. I think the question from there would be like, how do you go from having $1,000 bets to then joining a system where they tell you to bet fucking $10 or $20? Like, how did you go with that initially?
It was like, I understood it because it's like, it's the whole point of it. It's like, you're not making your profit in the first 6 months. Like, you're obviously making profit, but you're not making your profit in the first 6 months. Like, you're trying to get yourself to like 6 to 12 or like 12 months past where like, your accounts are fully like up and running. You've got, everything down packed.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like, obviously, you're sitting there for like every weekend or a month, and like you've got lads jumping in, being like, just do fucking 2K this day.
Yeah, correct. And they're like obviously longer term members, and now you've been here for like 12 months. You can kind of see the path there.
10 unit day was $200. Their 10 unit day was $2,000.
Yeah.
So like that was that was pretty shit.
Yeah.
But now it's like steaming though. Like 11K, I went to Fiji.
Nice.
We paid for that using punting. I use this as a savings account.
Yeah,
so
that's sick. What would you say to people that know, or they listen to that and go, fuck, I can resonate with that. Maybe I'm not betting as much as Marnus was, but like I'm betting fucking all the time, sitting on sports bet, I'm setting up multis, I'm losing money every week.
Yeah.
Like, what would you say to him, like as a former punter who's done that? Like, what would you say to him?
I talk to my mates about this. Like, I don't know. Like, for instance, I did it was like $23,000 or $24,000 in profit, which is great. Like, that's, doing it by myself. That was in the span of 3 months. I also lost $24,000 in a day. So, like, it's like, it's just not worth it. Like, it belts you when you're down. And then all of a sudden, it's like, if I hadn't...
What made you stop, though? How did you do that?
I had some conversations with some people that... that obviously...
Brought on by you or by other people?
Nah, brought on by me. Like, I had some conversations with one of my best mates from back at home, a couple from here. I even had a conversation with my partner around it. Obviously, like, no one really knows, like, how much you've done and stuff like that unless you, like, fully open up to it. But like
fully true. Like, no one would really know.
No.
Everyone can hide their punting. Like, unless they can see your bank account, no one has a clue.
Yeah, no one had an idea. People, like, they knew that bet was on. Yeah. They didn't know what the stake was.
Do you think since you made that change, had those combos, do you reckon it was like, do you reckon you live a better life, or is everything the same, you just don't punt?
No, it's all better. Like, for instance, I had to stop for a while, obviously, and then to be honest, the first day I came back, which is, I think, about 5 months before I joined the system, my ego took over and I actually did Mars like a few thousand
on the punt. Yeah,
like
after your break.
After my break, I did Mars straight away, and I was like, well, clearly I can't trust myself to actually do this.
Yeah, that's huge.
So then I had to have those conversations with my partner and stuff like that. And the way I've gone about it now is like, feel free to look at my bank statement, feel free to look at my, my spreadsheet, my betting accounts, whatever. Like, it'll all be right down. So if you want to have a look, you can. Epic. Which obviously then holds you accountable for not punting your ass. Like,
do you reckon you could hold yourself accountable without like having a system and at least going through that process, having a coach for a period of time without pumping up my own tires, like speaking to me? Or do you reckon you would have just eventually stopped punting altogether?
You gotta have like some kind of discussions with people who are doing it in similar. Like, it's, man, like, for instance, people complain, about the fucking, we go down 5 units.
What did you message me last week?
Yeah, these need to stop whinging. Fucking bunch of pussies and put them in timeout. But,
and then JP did a podcast on it. Telling people to stop sooking.
Yeah, it's just like, mate, you could have been, like, for instance, I was down, $500? $400?
Yeah.
What was it, 8 units? 7 units?
$50 punter, $350, $400.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And then like Wednesday it bounced back. I think it was like 500. We almost went 10 units.
Yeah.
So like, you just got to like ride it out.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that, because I think that's massive for not only like yourself. Like, when people share that with their partner or tell people, then like you're instantly a bit more accountable.
Yeah.
But then also like people that are watching this that would be punting and losing or not telling their partner or hiding them or feeling the same way that you felt, I think that's going to give them maybe a kick up the arse that they need to go and have that conversation or to think about it a bit more. So really appreciate you sharing that.